I really enjoy a warm steak salad, and for this recipe I'm using the strip loin steaks, and they're part of the Simply Better collection. They're from Ballinrobe over in Mayo, Jennings Butchers there, and they're Boar Beer quality assured. So these are matured for 28 days. And strip loin, it's a very lean cut, but there's a nice small amount of marbling of fat, and fat is flavour. It's one thing we do so well in Ireland is produce some of the most amazing and the most delicious beef in the world, in my opinion. And well done to all the farmers. You just do an amazing job. Okay, cooking a steak. This is optional. This is just a little tip for you. I've used some nice rapeseed oil. Okay, so this is from Wicklow. So it is. And I've just drizzled it over the steak. A little bit of fresh thyme, a couple of cloves of garlic. This is optional. Leave that there for a couple of hours in the fridge, but most important thing is when you're going to cook it, good hot pan, and then bring it to room temperature. So in other words, don't take the steak out of the fridge and cook it straight away. Let it relax. Let it just relax, and then you're going to get a more succulent, juicy piece of steak. Okay, we're going to use some of the oil in a minute. I'll just put a little bit of oil just in the pan, just a small drizzle. And the reason why I like rapeseed oil, and I'll tell you why, it's Irish produced, we're supporting Irish farmers, but you get a higher smoke temperature, and that's why I like it. I love the flavour of it, and people often ask me, is it as good as olive oil? It's totally different. You can't compare the two. Olive oil is a unique, beautiful product, and so is some rapeseed oil. So I'm going to remove the thyme, and I'm going to season it with a little bit of salt and a touch of pepper. Just a little bit of salt and pepper. I usually season before it goes onto the pan. There's some chefs that cook the steak and season afterwards. It's totally up to you. I always think it needs a little bit of steak or a little bit of salt on the steak. So a little bit of black pepper like that. Now there's one thing you don't do is put salt on it like I've done and then leave it, and after half an hour you go and cook the steak, because the salt will begin to dry out the meat. So we'll just literally lift off the thyme, and a really nice hot pan. That's what you want to hear. That sizzle, it's so important. Honestly, it really is. So we'll season up the other side. A little bit of black pepper, there it is. And then I will put in some butter in a minute. We'll just seal it off. So it's not a huge thick steak. It's not going to take very long to cook. I'm going to cook it nice and pink, and I'm going to show you the technique of when you test when your steak is cooked. So this part of your hand here is soft. So just this part here. So that's rare. So if you feel that it's lovely and soft, and then move up to your next finger, your second finger, and that is medium. Okay, still soft, but not as soft as your next finger. This one is medium well, and then your last finger is well done. It firms up. So for me, I like my steak nice and pink, and I like it medium rare. That's the way I like it. And I think the Irish palate has definitely changed over the years. We do like our meat nice and pink. Now I'm going to put in some butter. I'm also going to put in some of the lovely thyme and the garlic. We're not going to waste anything. It's not because I'm from Cavan. And then we're going to put in our lovely garlic in there. Now, you don't have to peel the garlic. You can actually just smash it if you want to. And then I'll use some more of that lovely rapeseed oil. Okay, there we go. Now, so I'll move that over there out of the way. I'm going to, when I cook the steak and let it rest, I'm going to cover it in tin foil, and that's really important. It's going to stop it from going cold. So it is. So just give this a nice kind of a shake. We'll just focus on this for a moment. I'm going to get a nice bit of colour. Now, the rapeseed oil stops the butter from burning. The butter is so much flavoursome, and it's delicious and all the rest. And honestly, I think, again with steak, but butter gives the most beautiful flavour. So you can see this beautiful caramelisation, everyone. And I'm going to show you what we call basting. So I'll just get a nice big spoon. We're going to spoon on that lovely butter, and we're going to put it over the steak. And as I say, I'm going to cook this nice and pink. I'm going to keep it nice and high, and if I find that it's browning too much, you just turn it down. That's what you do. It's as simple as that. We're going to serve this with some lovely blue cheese and a really nice kind of a gravy or a dressing, you can call it, which I think is wonderful. So we have two of the Simply Better blue cheeses. First of all, the Crozier Blue, and it's absolutely fantastic. You can see where it's made. They're the Grub family. Got the pleasure of meeting them. They're just incredible people. Their love and passion for making cheese is infectious. And then we have a blue Stilton cheese. So whichever one, you have the PGI logo, whichever one you prefer to make. Obviously, it's lovely to support Irish, and that's very important too. But yeah, I think either of them work really, really well. This is made with sheep's milk, the Crozier Blue. I should have said that. So this is what basting means. You spoon over these beautiful juices. So the juices, everyone, is the oil and the butter. Be careful not to scrape your pan. And then don't worry about the Don't worry about the garlic, because that's going to definitely cook it. That's looking good. Gorgeous. Now, so let me just go back in here, and we're just going to literally spoon this over here. So while that's on there, everyone, I'm going to turn down the pan. I'm going to show you a nice little dressing, and then we're going to warm this up. So this is quite a punchy dressing. Actually, I'll do this first. 1 clove of garlic. We're using a garlic crusher. So a little bit of pressure goes there. We're going to scrape this then into the bowl. Now this is quite an interesting dressing. It's a warm dressing. So this is some Irish made whole grain mustard. Okay, so it's sweetened with the lovely orange blossom honey. And yet it's not too sweet. And I like mustard. I think you've heard me saying this before. I don't love it, but I do like it. And I like it in certain things. We're going to put in some balsamic vinegar. And just while I'm over here, we're going to turn the steak. It's lovely, Imelda. And again, let's press it. Okay. We want to make sure that it's nice and pink. And that's very nearly ready, guys. Spoon on those beautiful juices. So remember, I turned down the pan. You're pressing that there. You want to let it rest. I'm just going to give it another 30 seconds. And then what I'll do, I'll take it off. And we're going to let it cover it in some tin foil. Yeah, stop it going cold. So press the center of it, Mel. If you just go in here, just press in the center. It is hot. Just press it like that, so it's nice and spongy and soft. And then this is what I want you to do. Let it sit. Pour all these lovely juices on there. And then in that pan then, we're going to make our gravy in a minute. So I'll just let that just rest. Super. Smell of that. Thyme, garlic, all those beautiful flavors are so delicious. But the key is that really good steak. So we're going to put in some balsamic vinegar. Going to put in 2 of these. Okay. We're going to also put in, this is really good, guys. This is a beef gravy. You see me using this. It's made from Spice of Life. They're based in Dunmanway, and they're wonderful producers. They make the Simply Better custard, the poultry gravy, the tartar sauce, and they're fantastic. I've been down there, see what they do, and just their love and passion for food is just infectious. Blossom honey. So this is from Leaving Foods in Kilkenny. So we're using as many lovely Irish producers as possible. Actually, same honey producer that we use in the restaurant. They're great people. So a spoonful of that. You don't want it too sweet now. That's really, really important. So onto that pan. I'm going to warm it up. It should be warming up. A lovely little bit of fresh thyme. Can I just show you what I'm going to do here? Just pick the little thyme leaves in here. Just a tiny little bit. This isn't, essential, but I think it adds to the flavour. So definitely with the gravy and the dressing, and you have the vinegar, you have the sweet and the sour, you have the mustard, you have the garlic, you're getting a lot of different flavours here. But even just the steak on its own with the salad, a little bit of olive oil and balsamic and the blue cheese, it's delicious. It's delicious. So mix this all together. I'll just show you that. And then onto the pan. Now, bring it on over. A little bit of water. Just to loosen it up a wee bit. And then some salt and a little touch of pepper. So we have lots of interest, and I just love that balsamic vinegar. And that's it there, guys. You just warm that up. This is what we call, I should have said this, deglazing. So you pour that liquid onto the pan that you've cooked the steak. So there still is flavour there, obviously from the steak. And then we should be ready to serve up. Okay. So we have some salad leaves. We have a little bit of rocket, a little bit of lamb's lettuce, a little bit of ruby chard there. There's lots of lovely mix. I think wild rocket is beautiful with steak. It's a personal, I think it's so delicious. Some croutons. We've just used some lovely sourdough bread. And we just toasted them just with a little bit of oil and just into the oven. And this is where you get texture. Food is so much about flavour and texture and different shapes. And I suppose it's all about how it tastes. Some lovely cherry tomatoes. So you're going to get the crunch from the croutons here. Now, what I like to do is to put the dressing on at the last minute. I just want to finish it now. Just with a little bit of chopped parsley. So a little bit of flat leaf parsley. We're going to put this in here to the dressing. And then we're going to cut our steak and serve it up. And sprinkle a little bit of blue cheese. So this is kind of like a kind of family style kind of platter. Maybe enough for 2 people, for a nice lunch or starter or something like that would work really, really well. So I just want to show you the consistency. Just that. It's not too thick. It's not too heavy. I'll just get a tiny little drop more water. There we go. There's some left in the bowl. And that will just loosen it up. Okay, on to the star of the show, which is the steak. We're going to bring this over and then just lift it up using the tongs. You could put the juice there. Now there is a little bit of juice, but there also is the oil and the butter into the pan if you wanted to. Just use my carving knife, or you can use the chopping knife, whatever you're comfortable using. Or what I'm going to do then, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to remove just this little bit of fat here. This is lovely and pink. Yum. And I'm turning it around and then just cut it nice slices. See how nice and pink that is. Beautiful. There we go, look at that. I can smell the garlic. If you want a little bit cooked a little bit more, which is perfect to me, that's nice and medium. Going on to medium rare. So you want that really soft. And if you like steak well done, which some people do, I would recommend that you have it medium well, and then you'll go on to medium. And trust me, you'll never go back to well done, because it's juicy, it's succulent. And what you want is to keep all that beautiful flavour in the meat. Now, I nearly eat that. Okay, let's just dry up that. We're going to get our dressing next, and then we're just going to crumble our blue cheese, and that's our dish ready. So just dress this all over, guys. So you have that lovely gravy. It's a warm dressing, the mustard, the garlic, the little touch of balsamic vinegar. You have a lot of interesting flavours there. I'm going to drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil. And then some blue cheese. So I'm going to use the Stilton. I just have that open on here. We're going to crumble that. Nice big pieces of that. You can melt it. I don't. I just simply sprinkle it over like that. And this is lovely in a salad, you know, with a little bit of apple. It works really, really well on some nice salad leaves or on a burger. Some of the Simply Better burgers with this is so good. I've got to really love blue cheese. I just think it's so delicious. And again, you can use that lovely Crozier blue made in Tipperary. And that is my warm steak salad with that beautiful blue cheese and that punchy dressing. You get lots of flavours and texture. And those croutons, the tomatoes, it's a relatively quick dish. I think it's a really, really full of flavour dish. And the key is that really nice Irish beef. So enjoy this recipe. Thank you so much.